So let's all welcome Dave Strom, the comic book code. He's going to tell us a little story. Give him a nice welcome.
Okay. There, I'm not from Lilliput. I've read this chapter here before quite a long time ago, and I found some better music to go with it. Going to get through this as quickly as I can, and unfortunately, the only speaker we can get that works is that little one right there, so we'll just have to see how well it works out. Anyhow, this is about my heroine, Holly Grail Svensson, essentially Superwoman, and California Smith, Cal, essentially Batman. And they really fell in love with each other. So this is the end of the book after their massive adventure. Holly Grail Svensson's beach house, a Sunday, 9:02 p.m. Holly's superpower wet haze convinced the paparazzi who had camped on her doorstep that she didn't want to have her picture taken now. They limped away, those who could still stand. Caped and cowled Cal easily carried caked and leggy Holly over the threshold of her home, honeymoon style. Holly, I observe you are lightening yourself via telekinesis. Thank you. Holly laughed. I think superpower puts on a few pounds. Cal set Holly on her feet. DCB Comics' Powerful Girl operates with the same increased density principle. He surveyed her home. Nice place you have here. Sufficient space. Cozy yet functional living room, writer studio, smells of redwood and sea salt, a nice ocean view. And the author already described this in chapter 2. By the way, they ditched the author in the previous chapter. They're alone now. However, a wall in this room does not correspond to the exterior dimension of your house. I calculate that the author was incorrect about your home being single level. Holly smiled at Cal, her cheeks gleaming. I wondered if you'd spot that. She tilted back the bust of Harlan Ellison's head on her living room table. The wall opened up and exposed a couple of poles that led under her house. Let's race to the Batcave, said Holly as she skipped to the pole, grabbed it like a fireman, and slid down. Cal blinked in surprise and smiled with amusement. This'll be goofy, he thought. He strode to the other pole and fireman slid. The Harlan hand returned upright as the wall closed. Cal's feet hit the floor at the bottom of the pole. He stepped into a large, dimly lit room beneath Holly's house and heard Holly speak. This place really recharges my creative batteries. They let your eyes adjust without the aid of intellect and night vision goggles. The walls were textured to resemble a cave. Photos lined the walls. Comic conversation timeline of Holly from 10 to teen to 20, hugging Batman in spandex, armor, and leather. Several fake stalagmites hung from the ceiling. A large bed covered by gray blankets festooned with black bat symbols filled the center of the room. Several Batman-garbed mannequins stood at attention around the bed, staring at it, crying pleasure and intense. He heard the sound of a page being spit out of a printer and saw Holly set her phone aside. She lay on the bed, hands behind her head, happily surveying the Batman. Then she looked at her costume. Her smile faded. It's still right up. She sat up, her eyes alighted on Cal and shifted to dead moon mode. Cal, I did say I wanted to see you out of that costume. And to hear you should get the girl at the end of the book. Holly reached for her costume zipper. Cal undid the first buckle of his costume. Holly, I must point out that you are the true hero of this book. Holly began to unzip. And I must point out that you are the true hero for this superheroine. Fade to black. The end. Hey! Yelled Holly. The lights came back on. What? Said Cal. These books always end just before the hero and heroine perform the intimate act. Holly floated off the bed, alighted in front of Cal, grabbed his head, and kissed him. Cal, in case you haven't noticed, the author isn't here. Cal thoughtfully pursed his lips. Dave's not here. Then who's writing this book now? Holly reached for a chair shaped like a giant Batman head, behind which was a printer on a small table. Some papers in the printer floated into her hand. She held the papers in front of Cal's face and pointed to the beginning of the topmost paper. Cal read aloud. The Comic Book Code by Dave Strom. Extended ending by Holly Grail Svensson. Holly reached toward a chair shaped like a giant Batman head, behind which was a printer on a small table. Some papers in the printer floated into her hand. She held the papers in front of Cal's face. Cal silently read the remaining papers in a quick intellectual gulp. His eyebrows shot up. He looked back to Holly. She smirked at him. I'm a writer too, and I know how I want this story to end. She cocked her head at the bed. Shall we? She floated to the bed and got under the covers. She began to unzip her costume again. We shall, Cal said definitively, reaching for another buckle on his costume. In fact, your ending for this book performs a bit of useful logic. It will prevent Hollywood from casting you as a teenager. Thank God, Holly said, gesturing. Her costume floated to and draped over the Batman head chair. She looked at Cal. Cal was still undressing. My costume is more complex. Holly sighed. Let's hit fast forward. 2 minutes later. Cal neatly folded his chest armor and placed it on the chair. Then his left glove. Then his right glove. Then his intellective belt. Holly's smile slowly faded. She puffed a little air on her nose and drummed her fingers on the bed covers. 2 more minutes later. Then his cowl, which he folded neatly and placed on the chair. Then his cape, which he flapped to remove wrinkles, folded neatly and placed on the chair. Then he reached for his left boot. Holly's dark eyebrows nodded. Her teeth grated. The number of minutes later, the Cal needs to finish undressing and get into bed and kiss the frown off Holly's face. Holly and Cal were lying under the bed covers, facing each other in loving, intimate silence. Her baby blue swan dive into Cal's big brown eyes. Holly broke the silence, her voice dipping to shy young girl. I have to tell you, this is my first time. I'm prepared, Cal said. Observe. He held up a clear eye-shaped wrapper with a disc inside. An Intellect condom. I'll be gentle. Holly pounced, clapping her arms and one leg around Cal. Eyes ablaze, she gleefully growled, "Don't be too gentle." Her ensuing super hugs, kisses, and caresses had great strength, yet great tenderness. Cal rapidly recalculated the Man of Steel, Woman of Kleenex equation, just to be safe. His conclusion? His upcoming injuries would be on the normal strength level. He could live with that. He deeply kissed, lovingly caressed, and Batmanly cuddled Holly with the precise pressure and at the logical locations to increase her pleasure an average of 38.6% per minute, and he kept all that under the covers to ensure that this book does not become R-rated. Holly cooed like a dove. With a free hand, Cal unwrapped the condom. Dave, the author, needing one last great line from either Holly or Cal to end his book, stepped over a moaning tuxedos of Victor Paparazzi and opened the front door of Holly's home. Authors don't need keys. He leaned inside. Hello? Anyone home? He walked into Holly's living room and saw no one. He checked the kitchen, then the bathroom. Nope. He stroked his small beard. I wonder. He peeked in the bedroom. Empty. Well, at least they're not breaking the end the book at the break of the intimate act cliché. He aimlessly wandered to the living room table. Weird. I thought they came into her house. Where are they? He reached out to lean on the table and accidentally tilted back the bust of Harlan Ellison's head. A wall slid open. He saw 2 poles. Creeping toward them, he heard voices below the house. He put his hand to his ear, and he listened for that last line. Be God with you. Oh, Cal! Oh, Holly! Oh, Cal! Oh, Holly! Oh, Cal! Ow, Holly! Sorry, Cal! Oh, Cal! Oh, Cal! The author scurried to the Harlan head and returned it upright. The wall slid closed. He turned his startled stare to his book's readers and he shrugged. Well, I guess I call that a happy ending.